Hello, and welcome to Cumulative Update, your source for the latest Office 365 changes and updates, as well as important tech industry news. Okay, let's talk about changes to Office 365. Okay, so got quite a number to go through, so we're gonna start right off. Okay, not sure if I talked about this, but there's a new feature added to Outlook for polling. So they're just rolling it out. Rollout will start in April and be completed by the end of May. The rollout for our Outlook for Windows and Outlook for Mac has been delayed. We will communicate with you again when we have an estimated timeline. So the web version will get the poll added to Outlook. Desktop versions will not. So we'll be able to create a poll within Outlook without needing to find and install an add-in. So I assume that delay is due to current resourcing issues and things around that. Teams has a new feature, multi-window chat for Microsoft Teams. Yes, I don't know why this is it's updated later, but I think I already talked about this. Basically, you'll be able to pop out chat in Microsoft Teams, which is just fantastic. Why that feature wasn't there at the beginning, I don't know. Seems like a pretty obvious feature. Basic feature for a chat client as well. Okay, OneDrive, updated feature. Syncing files that are used by your local computer. We're updating the behavior of how we sync machine-specific files, which are created by the operating system and that are used by File Explorer on Windows and Finder on Mac OS. We'll be gradually rolling this out late March 2020. The rollout will be completed by end of April. So, the OneDrive sync client ignores these machine-specific files, but sometimes these files end up in OneDrive, such as during a migration. This can cause a visible error. If any of these machine-specific files have been uploaded to OneDrive, the sync app will delete the erroneous cloud copy. It won't touch the local copy. Your users may notice the files were deleted in the cloud after the cleanup logic runs. So basically, they're automatically cleaning files in OneDrive that are identified as machine files. So that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, because myself, as a software developer, I can tell you that I sometimes use OneDrive to move copies of my application around to different computers for testing. If they suddenly decide to start wiping things every so often, that's going to suck, because sometimes it includes DLLs. They're not very clear on what they call or specify what specifically is machine-specific files. So hopefully that's just stuff that's in the Windows folder. So we don't have to deal with any of that nonsense. And hopefully this just is on OneDrive, because honestly, I usually use SharePoint for that sort of thing. It's just way easier than moving around with like a USB stick. So, okay, there's a Dynamics service update for Canada. I think I'm just going to skip over these for the most part. There's just an outage scheduled April 4th at 1 o'clock UTC to 10 UTC. Dynamics. This is not Canada specific, so it says enable automatic updates for field services and project service automation in order to help ensure all customers receive the benefits of our continued investments into the field service and project service automation. Like the Dynamics platform, we have begun to publish automatic updates. For field service, customers on 8.8.6 and higher have begun to receive automatic updates. For project service automation, consumers on 3.10.2 and higher have begun to receive these auto updates as well. You are receiving this message because your environment has a pre-auto update version of field service and or project service automation. So that's good news. Good news is they're rolling out automatic updates for some of the Dynamics 365 features. I am good with that. Anything, as long as there's no downtime associated with those automatic updates, or if there is downtime, please let us know, Microsoft. Okay, SharePoint, updated feature, structural navigation caching. We're continuing to optimize page performance for publishing enabled SharePoint sites that use structural navigation with a caching model as outlined in, and then there's a MC194438 October 19th. We'll gradually begin rolling this out to customers in late March 2020. The rollout will be completed in April 2020. So yes, I have had some clients in the past who use structural navigation on SharePoint Online, even though it's not recommended. Unfortunately, it's the easiest way to manage certain deployments of SharePoint Online. So it was very prone to, caching, just terrible caching. People pretty much had to hit a Control F5, a hard refresh in their browser to actually see menu changes sometimes. And then sometimes it would revert back for no reason. I've run into a couple weird instances where all of a sudden, like, you go to make a change in the menu and, oh, look at that. Like, everything has been duplicated. Contacted Microsoft, asked why, and never heard a response as to specifically why that was happening, because I'd never experienced that in on-premise. So yeah. So it looks like there is going to be a new site setting. So if you go to site settings, select site information, and view all site settings. Under the look and feel heading, select navigation, scroll to the structural navigation caching section, and select the appropriate option. And there's going to be the options to enable caching and then refresh the cache. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Moving forward, I haven't had a chance to tinker with the structural navigation in the hub site that they've added, or I don't think it's quite structural navigation yet. They have turned on, or they're rolling out, in the process of rolling out, the ability to hide and show, like, permissions-based hub site navigation, which is great. So hopefully maybe this will do it too, because to be honest, with hub site navigation too, I've noticed that it caches and it can take a long time to, like, clear that cache. So fantastic. Okay, Office update feature update available for Office 365 Pro Plus on the monthly channel. We've released an update to the Office 365 Pro Plus monthly channel. We'll be gradually rolling out this update of Office 365 Pro Plus to users on the monthly channel beginning March 25th, 2020. So if you got automatic updates, you probably already got it or will get it soon. If you're not on automatic updates, you need to schedule that. Office updated feature. Microsoft Secure Score improvement actions updated. We're updating Microsoft Secure Score improvement actions to ensure a more accurate representation of security posture. We'll be rolling this out to customers beginning April 21st, 2020. The rollout will be completed by the end of April 24th, 2020. So that is actually a pretty tight window there for rollout. So, if you're an IT admin, mark your calendar. Probably what I would do is check daily between April 21st and April 24th. And just check to see if the Secure Score improvement actions have changed for your tenant, and then follow those recommendations. See what you need to implement, see what you don't. It's really handy if you have checklists. They're going to have to get updated, security checklists. I've had to do a couple of those. Okay, Dynamics 365 Customer Service Hub deployment. As part of April 2020's Customer Service Hub deployment, your organization will receive 2 new solution packages automatically, which will allow you to enable data, analytical, and insight capability. For more information on this schedule, click here. Delivered on April 3rd, 2020. Analytics. Well, this package will install Analytics and Insights Preview, a settings sitemap, along with the settings page, which lets admins to control the feature accessibility to users in your organization. By default, the feature is off. Once admin enables it, this package will also provision a Microsoft managed Azure data lake and replicate data from CDS to enable analytics and insights for your organization. Analytics for customer service preview. This package will install the sitemap for users when admin enables analytics reporting. Please note that sitemap is not automatically installed for supervisor unless admin explicitly enables it in admin settings. So admins, if you have users who are asking for analytics from Office 365 for customer service or just Dynamics 365 in general, look at the cost, because I'm sure there's an associated cost with turning on Azure Data Lake. And once you've vetted that, turn it on and see if it fits your requirements. It's great. The more analytics stuff you can roll into Office 365, the better of a cost value proposition it is. So they've got another announcement this is just a general Microsoft 365 preparedness for COVID-19 and guidance regarding best practices for Microsoft Teams. They've taken a broad approach to service continuity, comprehensive business continuity program for Microsoft. They've got their PDF freely available, so you can check that out if you want. I have no interest in reading it. I'm sure it's fine. I mean, they're an IT company. All their people can work from home remotely. Really. I would be surprised if Microsoft even lays anyone off, because, to be honest, they should be looking at hiring people, because they're, like, the only challenges is their data centers. That's the only place where they absolutely need to have people there in case stuff breaks or things break down or something goes wrong. But I would even say just, like, install remote monitors. That's something you can have, and they probably already have installed at the facility. And then you just accept the fact that if there's an outage, you need to quickly switch to a different data center, all those connections, which they should, because that's how Office 365 is designed. And then you need to accept the fact that there's probably going to be a 20, 30 minute, maybe even an hour delay before you get boots on the ground in the data center to resolve whatever hardware issue there is. So, there's a couple of impacts. First and foremost, there are no known impacts to Microsoft 365 services. Heightened awareness is in place for the following areas: service scale and operations, supporting systems, external systems. Impact to our location. Our services are designed for remote administration. However, with the recent news that the greater Seattle, Washington area represents a higher incidence of COVID-19, we want to provide specific details around support of this service should Microsoft engineers be constrained to work from home. A security-first approach to administering Microsoft's 365 service. Each engineering resource that is accountable for managing the service has the ability to securely administer the service without direct access to the corporate location. Microsoft maintains multiple geographic locations outside the Seattle area with individuals who are capable of maintaining and managing the service. Yeah, people, as the largest provider of commercial services, we have the capability of ensuring continued operations with multiple subject matter experts in each discipline, with geographic diversity being a consideration. So yeah, they're just letting everyone know that they've got their stuff together. I mean, they're a giant corporation. They're an IT company. I would expect nothing less. Okay, another Office update. Co-editor chat access directly from Office Word, Excel, and PowerPoint documents has been retired. Several days ago, we announced the ability to initiate a chat directly with a co-editor of a Word, Excel, or PowerPoint document would be retired over several weeks beginning mid-April across web, Windows, and Mac versions of Office. However, due to continued issues with the feature, we made the decision to pull the retirement date in rather than continuing to enable the current experience. Moving forward, to communicate with others working in Office documents, we recommend using document comments when you want to attach a comment to a specific section within a document. on the Review tab on the ribbon, and Microsoft Teams chat when you want to communicate with others immediately. I don't understand how they could like screw something up like that, or why they would remove that feature. That seems like a fantastic feature. So yeah, if you're a developer, great opportunity. Make an add-in that just works, and just you click on it, and it takes you, just opens up Teams. Like literally, that's all they had to do. That's all that button has to do is click to open up Teams, and take you specifically to the chat window. Like, or like your contact search. That's really all it has to do is open up Teams, take you to the contacts. So and where you can type in the person's name there rather than in Word or whatever, and send them a message there. Like that. I haven't used this feature, so if it was set up so that you could just type a person's name within an Office application and send a chat message, that seems stupid and overkill. Like, just open up Teams and take them to their contacts list so that they can chat. Office update March 26th. Awareness of Microsoft 365 temporary feature adjustments. So what do we got here? As part of our commitment to customers on Microsoft Cloud Services continuity during these unprecedented times, we're making temporary adjustments to select capabilities within Microsoft 365. So OneNote and Teams will be read-only for commercial and education tenants. To edit, please use OneNote for the web or the OneNote desktop app. Okay. SharePoint. The following blog is now available with some additional information on these temporary changes. Awareness of temporary adjustments in SharePoint Online. I should probably open that and look at that later. OneNote and Teams will be read-only for commercial tenants, excluding education. Users can... oh, no, that's the original announcement. So SharePoint... So back to OneNote, sorry. Download size and sync frequency of file attachments has been changed for OneNote. You can find details on these and other OneNote related updates as notes aka.ms/notes updates. One word, no space, no dash. SharePoint, they're rescheduling specific backend operations to regional, evening, and weekend business hours. Impacted capabilities include migration, DLP, and delays in file management after uploading a new file, video, or image. Reduced video resolution for playback videos. Stream people timeline has been disabled for newly uploaded videos. Pre-existing videos will not be impacted. Meeting recordings, recording video resolution adjusted to 720p. So they're cutting back on some stuff to just make it so that their stuff doesn't crash, which is understandable. Okay. OneDrive. New feature. New authentication method for OneDrive on macOS. OneDrive on macOS is incorporating new methods for authentication. We'll be gradually rolling this out to new OneDrive on macOS customers in mid-April 2020. The rollout will be completed in mid-May. So it's just going to be like a different login experience. Yep. Okay. Limiting the Kaizala API usage to only org mapped groups. After this change has been implemented, the Kaizala API calls for private/non-organization groups will not work and will fail. So if you're using that API for private/non-org groups, you'll need to convert your Kaizala private group to org mapped group prior to the change rolling out. When does the change roll out? I don't say. Oh, making the change at the end of April. Yeah, I don't even know what you would use that for. And they're also changing the endpoint URL for the API to api.kaiza.la. Whereas before it was like kms.kaiza Kazaa.la. So, okay. Microsoft Teams. Increasing team membership limit to 10,000. We will soon be increasing Microsoft Teams team membership limit to 10,000 members. We will begin enabling this for all tenants at the end of April and will be completed at the end of May. This message is associated with Microsoft 365 Roadmap ID 62549. That's fantastic. Great news. Always better when they add more capacity. SharePoint. New feature. Change in header behavior for modern SharePoint sites and hub sites. We are changing how modern SharePoint site and hub site navigation headers function when a user scrolls up and down a page in a browser. We'll be gradually rolling this out to targeted release customers in early April and standard release customers in mid-April. The rollout will be completed by late April. With this change, modern SharePoint site and hub site headers will shrink when a user scrolls down in a browser, both desktop and mobile versions. When the user scrolls back up, the site headers will return to full size. Seems like an unnecessary change. I like the full width sort of headers that they've got, but I'll see what it looks like when it comes out and have more comments then. SharePoint, new feature, Exchange new feature, Exchange monitoring public preview. Administrators who have access to Service Health in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center will soon be able to see Exchange monitoring under the Service Health tab. We will begin rolling this out in public preview the first week of April 2020. The rollout will be completed by the end of April. So, there are some minimum qualifications. You'll be able to see health for the following clients based on mail read activity: Outlook desktop, Mac client, on the web, mobile clients for Android and iOS. The active user count is measured based on one single activity. Example, reading email, and it illustrates only the last 30-minute window. However, when you navigate to see the near real-time trend of distinct authenticated users as illustrated below, you can see a 7-day trend line compared with the previous week. Incidents are represented as a red line. This preview is enabled only for customers meeting the following license requirements. Customers must hold one of these licenses: E3, E5. So Office 365 E3, Office 365 E5, Microsoft 365 E3, Microsoft 365 E5, and customers must have a minimum 10,000 license count. And customers must have a minimum of 5 monthly active users for Exchange. Should the license count for your organization drop below 10,000 or your monthly active users drop below 5 users, Exchange monitoring will be disabled until your tenant again meets the criteria. So they're rolling it out only to big people right now. So, yeah. Okay, so let's take a closer look at that, the SharePoint changes. So, content migration, data loss prevention, and backup solutions. In support of the objective to remain highly available, we are moving some operation to regional evening and weekend hours. Users may observe migration, DLP, and backup solutions may achieve limited throughput during regional weekday daytime hours. During evening and weekend hours for the region, the service will be ready to process a significantly higher volume of requests from background apps. Please review the relevant best practices guidance, which describes how to get maximize throughput. File management. Various background processes to manage new media. Images, videos may now be processed during evening and weekend hours. Modified processes include 360 file view, automatic tagging of images and files with metadata. For recently edited Office documents, users may notice additional loading time when viewing the document in Office Online. Users may experience reduced video resolution for playback videos. they'll continue to update this as the situation changes. So hopefully, I know a lot of people are now suddenly they've migrated online. So hopefully, now that we're kind of in the thick of things have settled down a little bit. Microsoft will be able to expand capacity and get this thing working and back up to snuff instead of taking these sort of temporary measures. Okay. There's only really one piece of news I want to talk about because there's not a lot of important tech news going around, and I try to focus on more of like corporate tech news rather than video game news. So, Apple suppliers say no sign of delay to iPhone 12 production. Deny PCB claim. Basically, Apple was considering delaying the iPhone 12 production, meaning that the September timeline that they usually follow wouldn't be happening. But the suppliers are saying there's no sign of delay. And specifically take issue with one of Nikkei's claims. Taiwanese printed circuit board PCB suppliers say that they continue to work to the original schedule with no word from Apple on a possible delay. Now that could change. That may have already changed because this was from the 27th. I haven't really been following the news too much because, to be honest, it's a little depressing. So I'll continue to keep an eye out for any other big changes in the tech world. But I mean, to be honest, the tech world, I think, is pretty busy right now. We're working to get people online and working from home. So, if the iPhone gets delayed, consumers who are listening or watching, I'm sorry, but it's just not a priority right now. So anyways, that's it for today. Thank you for watching or listening to the Cumulative Update, your source for Office 365 updates and IT news.